Edition of Live from the Owl's Nest. I am Jamie with Royalwise. What is Royalwise? Well, we are computer software training and support. We specialize in Quickbooks Online, Microsoft Office, and of course my specialty is all things Apple. You may notice that I'm missing someone today. Alicia's not here with me. It looks like she flew the coop. But she's actually getting her second vaccine, so she's actually out there and busy. But I couldn't wait to come and talk about all the new Apple announcements that happened at the Spring Loaded event last Tuesday. So let's just get down and dirty and find out some of the stuff that Apple is bringing to us. The biggest news that I love that I've been waiting for is the new iMac with the M1 chip. This M1 chip is great. I've got the 13-inch MacBook Pro. It's a 32-core chip, an 8-core CPU, an 8-core GPU, and a 16-core neural engine with unified memory, meaning the memory is connected. With all of this being on one chip, it doesn't have to go through the motherboard, which makes the capability amazing. Doesn't use as much power, doesn't need as much cooling. With that in mind, the new iMac is so thin that they couldn't even put a headphone jack in the back because the headphone jack is actually thicker than the actual iMac is this time. Wow. So one of the changes with the new iMac is the headphone jack is going to be on the side. Also, the Ethernet cable can't be in the back, so that is actually going to be down on the power adapter. But some of the things about the new M1 iMac that are different and super cool. First off, it's 24-inch screen. Before we had a choice of 21.5 or 27-inch, but we have a 24-inch screen. But the size of the iMac is about the same as the 21.5-inch. So the size of the computer didn't really get all that much bigger, just the monitor size or the amount of screen space got bigger. So that's kind of cool. Another interesting thing is they're coming in multiple colors. You've got your color choices. And so we've got blue and green and pink and silver and yellow and orange and purple and all sorts of options for you. So this is harkening back to like the original iMac, the domed iMac, when we have multiple colors. Of course, the mouse and the trackpad and the keyboard will all be color matching. So that's kind of cool. New Magic Keyboard, new Magic Mouse, new Magic Trackpad. The keyboard actually has Touch ID on it. So you now have a Touch ID button on the new Magic Keyboard, and that Magic Keyboard actually works with all Apple products except for the new Mac, the new iPad Pro is what I've read. So that's what we're hearing about it. One of the other things that's really great about this new iMac is that they've upgraded all of the things you use for video conferencing now that we are living in a Zoom world. We've got a HD camera, 1080p camera, with a new feature called Center Stage, so that if you need to go wide angle because maybe you're in a room with a lot of people around you, it actually can make sure that everything centered, and I'm not sure exactly how it works yet, but we'll find out. But it keeps everything centered and can go wider if it needs to. That's called Center Stage, which is kind of cool. 4 USB-C ports, and 2 of those are Thunderbolt enabled. There's a 3 mic array, which actually does spatial sound, so it can like know where you are and block out sound from behind you. That's another great Zoom thing that we need. And ultimately, there's a 6 speaker system. So we've got 6 speakers along the bottom pushing high quality sound out. And so that's another great improvement, that the camera, the mic, and the speakers are all ready for us to really be these home users. So that's the iMac. Some great stuff coming up. That starts at about $1,300, $1,299, and or $1,499 depending on the processor that you choose. By the way, everything we talk about, I believe pre-ordering starts April 30th, and then they arrive the end of May is when they say they're going to be shipping. So the next big announcement, and this one I think is also great, is the new iPad Pro is finally here. They finally got the new iPad Pro out. But the really big exciting news about the iPad Pro is that it's going to have an M1 chip in it too. This is the first mobile device with an M1 chip. They've been doing the A series, the A12 Bionic, I believe is what the new iPad Air came with. The new iPad Air, when it was announced last fall, was actually more powerful, or not more powerful, but the processor was on par and more powerful than the iPad Pro processor was at that point. And we were all kind of surprised, why is the iPad Air really competing with the iPad Pro? And now we know. iPad Pro is coming with an M1 chip in it. Absolutely spectacular. Face ID built in, 2 terabytes of storage capability if you want it. And this is the only mobile device, iPhone, iPad, that actually uses USB-C as the charging port, and they moved away from Lightning. And they're still going to have USB-C, but the exciting news about this is it's going to be Thunderbolt capable also, meaning you can plug an external monitor into your iPad Pro. So that is absolutely huge. They're going to be 5G and also capable of Ultra 5G. And this is both, let's see, an 11-inch and a 12.9-inch. Cameras are improved. The center stage will be on the forward view, the camera facing you, and that's going to be a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera. That's the one that you're going to be using as the FaceTime camera, which is awesome. And then the last big thing about the iPad Pro, and this is the 12.9-inch only, is going to actually come with a liquid Retina XDR screen. So the XDR screen is that really fancy pro level display that they came out with last year that cost $5,000 to $6,000, really just for like high-end video editing and graphic editing and things like that. Well, they've managed to get that shrunk down enough that they can put it in a 12.9-inch or about a 13-inch iPad Pro. And so for people that are editing video on their iPads, you can leverage the iPad Pencil. The new iPad Pencil 3 is out. And it all is going to just work together pretty smoothly. The 11-inch starts at about $800, $799, and the 12.9, a reasonable $1,099, so about $1,100 to start with, and that's with the smaller hard drives. And then I'm sure once you add cellular and you add the hard drive, that 12.9-inch iPad Pro tops out at, I believe, around $2,400. So you could spend a little bit more. They do have the Magic Keyboard with the trackpad that works with the iPad Pro now, all magnetic. That's coming out in a white version. That's kind of a new thing for that. And improved iPad keyboard and trackpad. So again, pre-order April 30th and then available at the end of May. Speaking of colors, talking about the white iPad Pro keyboard cover, another announcement they made is a new color for the iPhone 12, and that is purple. And it's a beautiful bright purple, and I know people love purple, but it is only the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 mini. The Pro and the Pro Max will not have the purple option, but if you love purple and you haven't bought your iPhone 12 yet, there is a big lure right there. New podcast app was announced, coming with channels and a new podcast subscription. So if you are a podcaster and you're tired of commercials in your podcast, they're going to be actually offering a subscription that will take commercials away. I know everybody's kind of tired of the whole subscription model, but I don't think it's going to be going anywhere. Okay, last couple of things. Talking about iPhones, they featured the Find My app, and really that's because AirTags are finally here. AirTags, and by the way, Tile's not very happy about AirTags coming out, but these are little tracking sensors that you can attach to your luggage, put on the back of your remote, all sorts of places where you can put these little AirTags and then use the Find My app to locate them. It's a little bit more intensive than what we're used to with Find My, because with the new iPhone 12, you actually get guided with an arrow to where the device is, not just a dot on a map. And the AirTags have speakers, so they can make sound. They can lure you to them, so that's kind of cool. But when you're in the Find My app and you're trying to find an AirTag, it actually points you in the direction and tells you how far away you are from it. So you're, 5 feet away, 2 feet away, 1 feet away. And so you really know exactly where it is, where before when you're trying to find an iPhone or an iPad, it was a little vague, a little kind of out there. Okay, lots of great news. Last one, Apple TV. I happen to be a huge Apple TV fan. I use my Apple TV all the time. Of course, they touted Apple TV Plus, the fact that Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis got an award as best comedy actor this year, so they're excited to get some awards. The second season's coming out. They showed us a little bit about that, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the new Apple TV 4K unit, which actually does have the A12 Bionic chip in it, which is the strongest processor they've ever put in an Apple TV. And so it's going to be a nice upgrade, HDR in high frame rate. The transfer cable is the HDMI cable. It can do higher rate HDR transfer. Super happy about that. And a new Siri remote. So a newly designed remote. They got rid of the little swipey pad at the top, and they went back to the circle that has a swipey pad in the middle of it. So I think some people were kind of lost by that last remote, and so we're getting back to really being able to push right, left, up, or down. But it's also, you're going to be able to spin your finger around it to scroll through movies and to pan through things. So that's super fun. And another thing that I thought was crazy cool is a new color balance feature where you can actually use your iPhone 12 camera and hold it up in front of the Apple TV toward the room, and it will read the room and the light and the ambiance and color balance your Apple TV to optimize it for the room that the Apple TV is in. And I just read that is actually going to work on older Apple TVs too. The feature will be available on older Apple TVs, so you don't have to only get the brand new Apple TV 4K with the new Bionic chip. And let's see, these start at 180 for a 32 gig and 200 for a 64 gig. So again, different hard drive sizes depending on if you play a lot of games, if you want to save a lot of videos and photos on there. So new Apple TV Plus. By the way, Ted Lasso starts July 23rd. Yeah. Okay. With that is my live from the Owl's Nest rundown of all the great new Apple stuff. I'm super excited about the iMacs. I already have some clients ready to order those guys. I'm going to be getting my iPad Pro sooner than later. Maybe we'll test out some AirTags and we'll bring you some videos to show you how those AirTags are working. And again, Apple TV 4K. Awesome. With that, I want to thank you guys for spending this time with me. I'm missing Alicia. She's just flew the coop, but she's doing good stuff out there. We do have some free classes coming up, so make sure you visit Royalwise.com and look at our calendar for some of Alicia's free QuickBooks classes coming up. That's going to be super good. And if you happen to be on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. We're putting out a lot more tips and tricks videos. With that, I'm Jamie from Royalwise. Thank you so much. Have a great day.